Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's conservative blowtorch.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember when you were a small child? Or maybe you remember it now. You were a little kid and mommy and daddy were fighting, and it was not pretty. Mommy and daddy were yelling and screaming, raised voices, and maybe mommy was throwing dishes at daddy. Anybody, does that ring a bell with anybody? Do you remember those days? And so maybe you were so horrified that you hid under your bed, or maybe you were in bed and you pulled the covers up over your head and you put your hands over your ears so you wouldn't hear mommy and daddy screaming and yelling and calling each other names. Anybody remember those? Anybody remember those days, or is it just me? The reason I'm asking is because I'm getting that feeling again, that sense of dread as we watch this back and forth between President Trump and all of his supporters. And it's really just weird, man, just really weird. And I want us to have a conversation. I know many of you, you love to talk and you light up our phones. But when the Epstein stuff came up, everybody got nervous. And you know why? Because mommy and daddy are yelling at each other. And it's really ugly. And it's getting uglier. And this is... It's really a little mind-boggling, if you ask me. But I have a couple of theories, and I want to run these theories by you. Because President Trump, just a little while ago, put out a lengthy statement, and the president is pretty much done with you people. And there are a lot of people in this audience who believe that whatever is in those Epstein files or the black book, it all needs to come out. And now President Trump is saying it's just all been a hoax. It's all been a hoax. And I want to read to you what the president wrote on True Social just a little while ago. The president said the radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again, just like with the fake and fully discredited Steele dossier, the lying 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, which the Dems swore had come from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom. And even the Russia scam itself, a totally fake and made-up story used in order to hide crooked Hillary Clinton's big loss in the 2016 presidential election. These scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. They are no good at governing, no good at policy, and no good at picking winning candidates. Also, unlike Republicans, they stick together like glue. And by the way, everything the president says up to that point is absolutely verifiably true. Absolutely true. Now, here's the rest of it. Their new scam, talking about the Democrats, their new scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. So I want to stop there for just a moment. The only reason, and hear me on this, the only reason anybody ever talked about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal is because the Trump campaign made it an issue. That's the only reason anybody out there has been talking about it. And this goes well beyond. Remember, they campaigned on releasing the information, getting the information out there. All right? Now, not once have I heard any indication or even inclination that this was some sort of, or could be some sort of a big Democrat hoax. Now, again, do I believe President Trump's name was written into the file? No, I don't. I really don't. And I don't believe it is a hoax. I think it's real. I think there is quantifiable, verifiable evidence that very powerful, very well-placed, very well-connected people, very wealthy people were doing horrible things to children. That's what I think is really going on here. And whatever it is so bad that it would truly bring down the government as we know it. That's what I think is going on. But let me continue. That's just the first sentence. So the president now says this is all a scam. And then he says this, and my past supporters have bought into this BS hook, line, and sinker. Well, here's the problem with that, Mr. President. You were the one holding the fishing rod. You were the one, Mr. President, that went out there fishing with this story on the campaign trail, not us. We didn't bring it up. You did, Mr. President. The president, again, talking about all of you people who believe there is it's called now the Epstein hoax. He said, you people, you MAGA world, you haven't learned your lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years. I have, and then he goes on to say this, I have had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history. And all these people want to talk about, with strong prodding by the fake news and the success-starved Dems, is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings, talking about you in MAGA world, let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success, because I don't want their support anymore. So the president's saying, if you are a member of MAGA and you believe in the Epstein files, then he doesn't want your support anymore. He's done with you. He has taken the welcome mat and he's dusted it off, and he is going to Mar-a-Lago. You are dead to him, is what the president is saying here. The president again says, let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success, because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He also said, make America great again. And I agree with that. So now everybody's losing their collective minds today. All of this happening in the past, couple of hours. And my question, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think's really going on here? I mean, Dan Bongino literally built most of his career on this issue, and now the president is out there saying anybody who's ever talked about this has somehow been colluding with the Democrats to advance this hoax. I mean, is it possible that it's a hoax? I mean, I guess so, but I'm telling you, I think there's a lot more to this. A lot more to this. Tom Fitton is our friend over at Judicial Watch. Oh, and by the way, before I get to Fitton's comments, there is a brand new CNN poll that shows only 3% of the public and 4% of Republicans. Are you ready for this? Again, 3% of the public, 4% of Republicans are satisfied with the amount of information the government's put out about the Epstein case. That means 96% of Republicans are not happy with this. Tom Fitton was on C-SPAN earlier today. He says, I don't think the Justice Department and the FBI have the confidence of the American people to get to the bottom of any of it. But at this point, there's nothing there to get to the bottom of. President Trump just announced to the world, folks, don't believe your lying eyes. There never was an Epstein case. It was all a big fat hoax. There's nothing to it at all. None of this ever happened. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? It's President Trump is basically saying, I mean, it's not basically, he's coming out and telling you, if you believe that there's a list, then you're done. You're dead to him. That's what the president is saying here. Folks, I'm telling, this is not good. It is not good. I'm just trying to tell you, this is not good. Because this is an administration that has been preaching transparency. And a lot of people are taking this as President Trump giving the middle finger to his base. And I think the president, look, I get it. He's frustrated. This story will not go away. It's only getting worse. Charlie Kirk, by the way, and if Trump wants to lash out at somebody, he needs to pick up the phone and call Charlie Kirk, because that's the only thing that the TPUSA gathering over the weekend was about. And that's where they just literally poured gasoline onto all of this during that conference in Tampa. Megyn Kelly now calling out Trump supporters blinded by loyalty to the president on the Epstein issue. On the Tuesday edition of the Megyn Kelly Show, she singled out Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, and Laura Ingraham, accusing them and others of putting too much trust in the Trump administration when it comes to the Epstein files. You will recall that after Charlie Kirk pulled the gasoline and lit the match over the weekend, he goes on his radio show yesterday or Monday and says that he's no longer talking about Epstein. So here you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Megyn Kelly saying you now have some MAGA influencers clearly on direction of the White House saying, okay, I'm done. You had Laura Ingraham go on her show on Fox News last night and be like, oh, well, after the pile-on at Charlie Kirk's Turning Point event, all the Republican infighting, and then she says it's time to move on. But Kelly said, okay, great, but Laura Ingraham was 100% responsible for all of this because she got up there, and that's the problem I have. With me, ladies and gentlemen, what you see is what you get. I call it like I see it. But then you get Charlie Kirk and all these folks out there and Laura Ingraham. They all know where their bread is buttered, and that's why they're turning right now. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, ladies and gentlemen. We have always believed that on this radio program. There has to be something so dangerous in those files that whatever it is, they cannot allow it to get out. That's the only explanation here. I mean, it really is. Otherwise, I mean, this is Bush League. We are watching, and it's not a matter of the MAGA base going in the midterms and voting for Democrats. That's not it at all. It's MAGA voters so disenfranchised and so disillusioned that they just stay home on Election Day. And that is a dangerous proposition. So I would like to think we're in the middle of the road on all of this, because for years, Trump and MAGA world have been leading the charge on this Jeffrey Epstein issue. And let me say this. And one of the reasons why is because the Republicans and the MAGA world folks, they actually thought that most of the damage was going to be inflicted on the Democrats if the list was exposed. I have another theory. I think there are a lot of Republicans on that list as well. That's what I think is going on. So we're going to open up the phone lines here. Where do you stand? You heard what the president said. If you have any concerns, you're dead to him now. This issue is over, and you will either get in line or he's cutting you off. 901-260-5926 is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Stern Show.
From the front lines of the culture wars, it's Todd Starnes.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Thought, well, just for the heck of it, I'll try this Balance of Nature. But I thought, all right, I'll do it for 1 month, and then I can cancel. And so I ordered it for 1 month. I have told so many people about this stuff. They think I'm crazy. So for me to say I would continue to do it means it's got to be good.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and there's no better time to get in shape than right now. That's why I'm really excited that Calitrin is part of my weight loss campaign. Here's my friend Elizabeth from Calitrin.
That's right. Calotren's safe with all medications, including all the weight loss shots that are so popular right now. In fact, Calotren is exactly what you need if you're doing that, because you need to retain your lean muscle, you need to keep your metabolism boosted, and you want to tone and tighten that skin as you're losing weight the right way. So, again, completely safe and what you need, even if you're doing other weight loss medications. It's also safe with your heart medicines. It's safe with your blood pressure medicines. Calotren is the weight loss product that you can know and trust. It's been around. It's been helping customers lose weight safely for almost 30 years. So check it out. Website is toploss.com or call us 833-TOP-LOSS.
Thanks, Elizabeth, and be sure to use that promo code TODD.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
No, it's I call it the Epstein hoax. It takes a lot of time and effort. Instead of talking about the great achievements, we've had a great gentleman yesterday, as you know, went on CNBC and he made the statement that Trump may go down as the greatest president of all in the United States. And instead of talking about the things we've achieved, we've had tremendous achievement. They're wasting their time with a guy who obviously had some very serious problems, who died 3-4 years ago. I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best we've ever had, and all of the things we've done, including the Middle East. I mean, you see it. Instead, they want to talk about the Epstein hoax. And the sad part is it's people that are really doing the Democrats' work. They're stupid people. Yeah, go ahead.
Wow. So who are the stupid people? Are we talking about Steve Bannon? Are we talking about Megyn Kelly? Are we talking about Charlie Kirk? Are we talking about all the people who, are we talking about Dan Bongino? He built his career on all of this. Talking about how we're going to get there and we're going to release all this information. So we're going right to the phones here, but I want to finish this thought here. We every day we celebrate the incredible things that Donald Trump is doing on this program. But again, we're not worshiping, we don't worship anybody except Almighty God. And this is a problem. And again, the reason why MAGA conservatives bought the Epstein files hook, line, and sinker, as the president said, is because the president went fishing with that issue during the election. And here's the question that must be asked. We need to know exactly when the Trump administration first learned the entire Epstein debacle was a complete fabrication and hoax. At what point? And by the way, why now are they just coming out and announcing all of this? When did they find out? That's what I want to know. And what is the evidence that all of this is made up? It's a hoax. All right, let's go to the phone lines. I know a lot of you are fired up over this. 901-260-5926. Let's start the day in Gainesville, Georgia, WDUN. That's Bill Maine territory. Susie on the line. Hi, Susie. What's going on?
Hey, Todd. How you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Well, last night, I don't know where I found this, Todd. It was kind of late last night. I found an interview with Alan Dershowitz. And, you know, at one time he was Epstein's lawyer. He says there is no client list. He knows this for a fact. He said there is no such list. And he said the Justice Department and the administration is no way to be blamed for any of this. And I believe what Alan Dershowitz said. And he said there is some people out there, there are accusers and the accusees. And he said you can find that. And he said the problem is, Todd, 2 federal judges in New York are holding all this stuff, and they won't release it.
Well, Susie, Alan Dershowitz wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, and you're right. He said in this piece that there was no client list, and he said that there was nothing improper or even questionable about President Trump. And I've been pretty hardcore about that. I don't believe this has anything to do with Donald Trump at all. But again, if this was all a fabrication, I want to know when the administration learned all of that. Because that's not what they were saying out on the campaign trail.
Right. I agree with you. And it bugs me. It really bugs me, but I'm going to stand by President Trump, Todd. I'm just going to stand by him. And that's just my view on it, Todd. And I appreciate you. And I thank you for everything you do. And I thank you, Todd, for the truth.
Well, Susie, you're kind to say that. And, you know, it gets me in trouble a lot. I'm just going to tell you, it really does. I mean, we're not mean-spirited about anything. But, again, people, I think, have legitimate questions about this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. And it may be a complete hoax, but we need to understand the evidence and how they came to that conclusion. All right, 901-260-5926. We have one line open. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life. And he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, and we are going to the phone lines here, so hang tight. But I want to go back to something the dear sweet Miss Susie brought up just a few moments ago from Gainesville, Georgia. So you had Alan Dershowitz, who was Jeffrey Epstein's former attorney, and he's out there now saying, well, look, that this was all, that there is no such thing as a client list. All right, that's the new information coming out from Alan Dershowitz. And this is the headline from the New York Post. Epstein's lawyer says there was no client list and sets the record straight on Trump. Nothing improper or even questionable. Okay, that's what he is saying today. All right, that's Alan Dershowitz today. And he said he knows the facts and he wants to make things important and clear. Epstein never created a client list. All of this in the opinion piece written by Dershowitz in the Wall Street Journal. All right, that was, yesterday? Today. This was just a few days ago on Sean Spicer's show. Take a listen to what Dershowitz was saying then.
This is not an opinion. This is a fact. I have seen, remember, I was accused falsely on the Epstein, and ultimately I was completely cleared. The woman admitted that she may have mistook me for somebody else and withdrew all of her lawsuits. And so from day one, from the day I was accused, I said I want every document out because I knew every document would prove I was innocent. So let me tell you, I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. And they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them. But I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and cases, and I can't disclose what I know. But I hand to God, I know the names of people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them, and that's wrong.
Just out of curiosity,
all right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted you to hear that little clip there. So the question is, okay, was Alan Dershowitz lying just a few days ago on Sean Spicer's TV show, or is Alan Dershowitz lying now? Which is it? You can't have it both ways. You just simply cannot. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Memphis, Tennessee. Shan is listening to us on KWAM. Hi, Shan. What's on your mind?
Hi. What's on my mind is, can I make a comment first about what you just said about Dershowitz?
Yes, ma'am.
Is he lying or not? But the question you have to ask is, why? On that.
Why did he change his tune?
Right, exactly. Okay, but my point I wanted to bring up is, if there's not a client list, if there is a client list, let's think about that. That might not be the important part. The important part is, what about the women that went through these ordeals, that suffered this? Are they all lying? Did they make all this up? These poor young ladies that went through that. What's your viewpoint on that?
I mean, you have to ask that question. I mean, that is a very important question because we understand from the federal government there was a victims fund set up. So it's not like these people are saying, okay, these are people who say they were victims. These are individuals who were recognized by the Justice Department as being victims, and they were paid out of a victim compensation fund. That number is that we know of is about 150 individuals. Now, we understand some of the victims, Shan, were as young as 14 years old. So to your point here, okay, if you've got victims that are being paid out of a federal victims compensation fund, who are the perpetrators?
Okay, so what are you leaning to say, that they were paid to say something?
No. They were paid because they were victims. They got some sort of compensation, whether it be from Epstein's accounts or whatever. So these people are victims. And to your point, if these people really are victims, that means somebody committed a crime against them. Where are those people?
Correct. And are those people on a, not so-called a list, but are they in the information that Epstein had, that some of that stuff is even missing, So I find it hard to believe that it's a hoax. There may be aspects of it, like let's just take the list. There may be aspects of it that aren't real, but something really happened that I think the public should know everything about because of these poor women that suffered. And you're right. What happened to those people that mistreated those women? We need to get to those guys.
It's a fair question, and again, but President Trump says, Shannon, I'm curious here. Were you a supporter of President Trump?
I'm not really a party person. I'm a people person, and when people start misrepresenting things, I question. So that's the best answer I can give you.
No, that's a fair answer to the question. But the president is telling his supporters, if you're still talking about this, I don't want to have anything to do with you.
Yeah, I understand that, but why is he saying that? Come on, the American people need some answers.
All right.
Those girls and women deserve it. That's all I got to say.
Shan, thank you for calling in. Again, 901-260-5926 is our number. Let's go to Thomas in Statesville, North Carolina, listening to us on WSIC. Hi, Thomas. What say you?
Hey, I believe that Donald Trump's name's not on it, because if it was, Democrats would have been hot shouting that from every rooftop in the world. But I do believe that it's real. But the trouble is, if you got about 75% of Congress on that list, what do you do then?
I'll tell you what you do. You put a big old fence and some guard sentry post around the Capitol, and you've got another federal prison on your hands.
Hey, I didn't think about that. That sounds like a 100% good idea right there.
So, Thomas, President Trump says, got to move on. I don't want to have anything. And if you're buying into, if you think there really is something here, then you're a stupid person. What do you say to the president?
Well, I was 1,000% behind him. Now I'm just 100% behind him.
Well, that's
but,
okay. Well, that's still pretty good. I like those percentages.
Yeah, but I don't like that. He's got to say something now other than just forget about it, because they've been people saying that there's something here, there's something there, not there.
Right.
Nobody knows.
Well, Thomas, I hear you, and I still think the president, and we'll play some audio here. Well, as a matter of fact, let's listen to the president. He was asked directly about the hoax. I think one of the reporters may have been listening to the show. Let's take a listen.
I know you want to move past all this intrigue over the Epstein files, but I do want to ask you to clarify something you said this morning. You said this was all a hoax. Has your attorney general told you this was a hoax? What evidence have you seen
It's
of
not
that?
the attorney general. No, I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters, and Comey before him. And it's a bad group. It started, actually, look at the Steele dossier that turned out to be a total hoax. The 51 agents, the intelligence, so-called intelligence agents, it was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats. And some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. And so they try and do the Democrats' work. The Democrats are good for nothing other than these hoaxes. They're bad for policy. They're bad for picking candidates that can get elected. Like in New York, we have a communist running. He may get elected too, actually, but he'll destroy the city.
All right, so there you have it, folks. I don't believe Trump's name is on the list. Is it possible? Is it possible that the Democrats wrote his name into the list? Yeah, that is possible. It is possible. But again, I think they would have already used that information against the president. All right, let's go to Sharon in Jackson, Tennessee, listening to us on WTJS. Hi, Sharon. What say you?
Hi. Well, my question is, if, Jeffrey Epstein was a businessman. He didn't run his island just for favors. He ran a business. And what businessman or business in general do you know that doesn't keep a list of their clients? I mean, retail stores, they have lists of who their vendors are. They have lists. He was a businessman. And if there is no list, then why is Maxwell in prison? Why is she saying that she's going to testify if there's no list? Why was Epstein killed? Dershowitz probably said that there was no list to try and save his life. They probably came out and said at the very beginning, no, I don't keep a list, no. Well, he got killed anyway, so what good did that do? But yes, I fully believe that he was a businessman who kept a list. But now if there is no list and all this just flies, under the radar and it just goes away, Maxwell should be released and she should sue the prosecutors and everybody who put her in jail. Because if there's no list, what crimes were committed? If there was no trafficking, then what crimes were committed and why is she still in jail?
Sharon, it's a great question, and again, she is serving a pretty lengthy sentence, 240 months in prison, and she was found guilty of abusing of a scheme to exploit sexually and abuse multiple minor girls over the course of a decade. And she's been in prison ever since. So you're right. I mean, if in fact that's what she was guilty of, there have to be people on the other side of that transaction that you pointed out. And again, going back to a very obvious thing, Sharon, if you're running a business, you're keeping tabs on people. I mean, the mob did it.
Well, they've got to know who owes them.
It's true.
He's not, you keep track of your favors. You don't just do things for for your health and benefit. You do it because you're making money.
But that's
it.
Here's the thing, Sharon. If I'm Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney, I'm taking what President Trump said today. He called this an absolute hoax. None of this happened. This is all just make believe. Created by the Democrats. Well, if that's the case, I'm taking that directly to court, and I'm demanding my client be let out of prison.
Yeah. So why? Who's going to go to jail for a hoax?
Great question. It's Sharon. It's a great question. All right, we got to run again, folks. You guys you're asking very important questions here, and I understand what the president is saying, and we should be celebrating. But again, the question is, Pam Blondie, did Pam Blondie mess all of this up? Is she somebody who overpromises and delivers here? But it is a mess right now, and I can't wait to hear from Bongino and Kash Patel. And man, they must have gone into, I don't know, the witness relocation program. We haven't heard anything from those guys. All right, 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. I've got to brag on you folks because you are just knocking it out of the ballpark. All this week we have launched, on Monday, we launched our disaster relief effort to help our friends and our listeners in the Texas Hill Country, and we are raising money. $50 will provide a single family with an emergency relief kit, and so many of you are stepping up, and it's not just one or two. Some of you are purchasing 4 and 5 kits for these families. It's pretty bad, and it's getting worse. And a lot of these people have lost everything they own. Many of them don't have a lot of money, and it's going to be tough to rebuild. When you've been through a flood, you lose everything. So we're doing a small part here. I want you to go to toddsterns.com in the break and click on the disaster relief red button. You'll see it right there at the top of the page. The Help Texas Disaster Relief button. $50, you're going to be able to help one family. If you give over $100 or more, I'm going to send you, just as a personal thank you, a signed copy of my new book, Star Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots. That's for anybody who gives over $100. So head on over there. We're going to be sharing names. So many of you, we have already raised well over $3,300. Our goal is to raise $20,000, so we need your help. But you guys are just crushing it, and we appreciate it. We're averaging about $1,000 a day, but we want to step that up a little bit. So go to toddsterns.com, click on the red Help Texas banner, and you'll be able to do that. We'll be right back.
You're with Todd Starnes.
Hey folks, Todd Starnes here. What's your plan when the smartest investors who never lose pile into gold and silver? They're buying now, watching value climb. Are you okay with missing out, seeing them thrive while you wait? Vault U.S. Gold is the answer. Trusted by pros. They offer gold IRAs to secure your retirement and gold and silver delivered, shipped, and insured to your door. Want to roll over your 401k? Well, their experts make it seamless, honest every step. Why Vault U.S.? Well, they're steady, reliable, no tricks, just value. Gold's hot. Don't regret sitting this out. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653. or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd for a free investor kit. That's 833-511-GOLD or 833-511-4653 and get your free investor kit. And say Todd Stern sent you. Vault US Gold. Buy smart, win big.
Franklin Graham says Star-Spangled Blessings is a must-read for America's patriot families. The newest book from Todd Starnes, a daily devotional filled with great stories about how God has blessed America. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots. Each daily devotional comes with a Yankee Doodle, a Patriot prayer, and a Liberty lesson. Not to mention some all-American recipes that will bless your heart and your belly. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots, available at your favorite bookstore or order online at toddstarnes.com.
Everyone's goals for advancing their education look different. At Liberty University, we've helped thousands of students like you earn their dream degree. So no matter what your goal is, we can help you get there. With over 450 degrees from the associate to the doctoral level to choose from, most of which are 100% online, you'll find what you need to succeed. To discover which degree might be the best fit for you, text degree to 49595. That's degree to 49595.
We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Stearns. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code STARNES and you're going to save an extra 10%.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, let's go to the phones here. Terry in Winchester, Virginia, listening to us on the great WINC. Hi, Terry. What's on your mind?
Hi, good morning, Todd. Oh, good afternoon. Yeah, it's great to talk to you again. I've kind of missed your program because I've been working and busy, and I don't know if you brought this up or not, but I'm listening to you this morning real heavy, and I've got a question. If there's a government fund that are paying people for being abused, then where are those people at? What are their names? Why don't they come out and speak? I don't want my government money to go to someone I don't know and don't have any reason. It's got to be more answers. Well, there's more questions than answers, but I want answers from my government.
Terry, I think it's a fair question you're asking, and I know there have been some of the victims who have spoken out. And again, I want to share this intel with you. The federal investigators have stated that Epstein victimized more than 1,000 people, and that Epstein's accusers, that there was a compensation fund established for Epstein's victims, and they paid out between $120 million to 150 people as of August 2021. The FBI declined to comment on the details, the actual details of all of this. So So, yeah, not all of them are speaking out, but there have been some, Terry, that have spoken out.
Have been some. Okay. I've missed that part then, because I'm a little bit curious why isn't more people speaking out? If this is real, just like Alan Dershowitz was saying, he believes it is. Well, I know you're bound by a judge to keep quiet, but there's some things you just got to speak up about and set this record straight so this doesn't happen again.
Yeah, it's fair. And again, that money coming from the Epstein estate, that's where the $125 million came from. Around 225 people filed claims, that coming from Fox Business. Terry, appreciate the call. Thank you for listening. Again, 901-260-5926. As we go to break, though, I want to give a shout-out to some folks that have been donating a lot of money to our Help Texas disaster relief effort. And I got to give a huge shout-out to our good friend David Weimer from Weimer's Jewelry in beautiful Bartlett, Tennessee. What a great business. David Weimer met with one of our salespeople yesterday. They were doing the meeting. He said, hey, look, here's $100 cash. I want this to go to the Disaster Relief Fund. David Weimer, you're a great American patriot, and we say God bless you and thank you for that. And Weimer, by the way, challenging all of you KWAM listeners to head over and make a donation, whether it's $50 or $100. You can do that right now at ToddStarnes.com. And coming up in the next hour, we're going to be naming even more donors who are giving. I'm just going to say, Patriot Talk 920, you guys are rocking, because we have more donors from the Houston, Texas area than any other part of the nation right now. So we want to encourage you during the break, head over, grab some iced tea or a Dr. Pepper, and go check out ToddStarnes.com and join our effort as we reach our goal of $20,000. We got a ways to go, but I think we're well on our way. And if you're on hold, hang tight. We're getting right to your calls, so don't go anywhere. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
When you're working to protect and serve your community and country, you need a degree program that fits into your busy schedule. At Liberty University, you'll find just that. With 100% online program options and no set login times, you can advance your skills without sacrificing your commitments. Plus, we offer exclusive tuition rates and discounts to current and former service members, their spouses, and first responders. Learn more by texting DEGREE to 49595. That's DEGREE to 49595.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for health care can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. So maybe you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're much happier with. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
Chip and Joanna Gaines are in the center of a controversy that seems to get worse every day. The Gaines family built their fortune portraying themselves as evangelical Christians who ascribe to traditional family values. But their new reality show called Back to the Frontier stars a same-sex couple and 2 children the men purchased from a surrogate. Christians have responded with fierce disappointment and frustration. Franklin Graham said the couple was promoting something God defines as sin. In response, Chip Gaines attacked his critics, accused modern American Christians of being hateful and judgmental. Gaines even said Christians who oppose gay marriage are filled with hate and vitriol. The irony is Chip and Joanna Gaines came to fame through fixing up other people's houses. But now it appears their own house is in need of fixing up. Hey, start your day with the Star Spangled Blessing. Read my new book, Star Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots, available at toddsterns.com.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's favorite gun-toting, Bible-clinging, deplorable American.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've been thinking a lot about atheist. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes radio program. I've been thinking a lot about atheist. And you know why people don't believe in God? It's because they've never had the pleasure of enjoying a delicious Stuckey's pecan log roll. Anybody who has been able to enjoy a delicious original pecan log roll from our friends at Stuckey's, they found Jesus. This is really just a wonderful little treat. We got a package in the mail during the commercial break. And I thought to myself, what is this? You know, we always get a little nervous here when we get boxes, packages in the mail. And but once we realize it's not ticking, you know, we're pretty good. We ease up a little bit. So anyway, imagine my surprise when I opened up the package and it was a gift box from our friends at Stuckey's, the original pecan log roll people. And I know many of you of a certain age may remember the old Stuckey's. And long before you had Buc-ee's, you had the Stuckey family. And this started back in 1937 in Eastman, Georgia, when Mr. Stuckey, Sylvester Stuckey, it was his name, he had a $35 loan, and he had a lot of pecans. And so he opened up a roadside pecan stand in 1937. And soon that evolved into a candy kitchen and a candy plant and eventually led to all of these stores. And I think in the 1950s and 60s, there were almost 400 Stuckey's roadside diners in 30 states, and they were known for their billboards. And it's a great American success story. Of course, you know how things go. And but the brand has been revived by the next generation of Stuckey family members, and that would be Stephanie Stuckey. And I was making a comment on the radio show just a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking about Stuckey's, and she reaches out and says, "Oh my gosh, you know, we would love to be able to send you a gift box from Stuckey's." And I said, "Yeah, sure, that'd be great." We gave them an address, didn't think anything else of it. And then today we get this delicious, and I'm telling you, Dylan, I know you're not a big pecan guy, but the staff has gone nuts. I mean, they love it. Well, I guess they have gone nuts. Yeah. Anyway, it's the pecan log roll, and we also got, we've got a huge box of stuff here. The Stuckey's candied pecans, kettle glazed. Is it pecans or pecans? Or pecans?
That's controversial. I say pecans.
Do you? Yeah, see, I say pecans as well. But
maybe Northerners say pecan.
Pecan.
Pecan sounds like a bird.
Pecan pie. No, that's the Northern version. And something called Hunky Dory. Stuckey's famous Hunky Dory. It's caramel popcorn, pecans, and almonds. So thank you so much for sending this over. But I love their slogan, "Find highway happiness." We all want that in life, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? Stephanie Stuckey says every traveler is a friend. Well, she hasn't been to Memphis, has she? You haven't been on I-240. But who knows? Maybe some of the drive-bys, maybe all they need to start seeing the right way of life is to get a delicious Stuckey's pecan log roll. I'm just saying. So anyway, thank you for this, Stephanie Stuckey. And I know many of you, if you're of a certain age, you remember stopping at Stuckey's to get gas and get a good meal and get one of those delicious pecan log rolls. So we'd love to hear from you today. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. I need some milk. I was chowing down on the pecans during the break. Okay, let's go right to the phones. We have so many people that want to weigh in on this Epstein mess. Let's start in Athens, Georgia. Gina is on the line. Hi, Gina. What's on your mind?
Hey, Todd. So I was just listening to your callers and talking about the list and all, and that's true. It really doesn't matter if, there's a list or not. We know he had people that he serviced, and so forth. But the problem that's made this so bad, which you well know, is when Trump came out last Tuesday, I believe it was last Tuesday, and that reporter asked Pam Bondi, and he distracted from that. And the way he did that, oh my gosh, that sounded just like a Democrat. There's something Biden did that was very similar, I'm sure multiple times, but that's what he sounded like. And, you know, he really is honest most of the time. And he's going at this from a dishonest, with a dishonest method, and it's not working. And because it's not working for him, he goes back to what he knows how to do, which is fight. So now he's turning that against us. And the problem is, had he just maybe even kept quiet when that reporter asked that and let her get out of it herself, which I don't know that was a good answer that she gave, given that they had just released that, you know, the day before, what was it, saying that there was nothing to it, it was going away, no big deal, nothing to see here. Well, he should have expected questions, and his response was absolutely not the response to give. And I can't believe, he's lost his mind turning against his base.
Gina, you know, I know this president, and when he gets a bee in his beautiful bonnet there on top of his head, he's not going to stop until he's finished. And honestly, it would have been a lot easier for him to have said, you know what, the Justice Department is investigating. You got to talk to the AG about this. I'm not involved. Let's move on. Next question. But he couldn't stop. He could not stop.
And that was such a hard turn for him on this issue. I mean, he wouldn't have liked it had we treated the issues against him the same way that he's saying to treat this issue, when everyone knows, again, why is she in jail? There's obviously a reason that she's in jail and that he's dead. Epstein's dead. There's more to it than, oh, nothing to see here.
And there was a reason why Epstein was in jail as well. So it's, you know, here's the thing, Gina, and we're now entering this weird world where it doesn't matter if it's true or not now, because everybody's going to wonder, and the Democrats are going to play the same game when it's their turn to have some sort of a scandal.
Yes. And in my opinion, Trump has only made it worse.
I'm just curious, speaking of hard pivots here, Gina, have you ever been to a Stuckey's?
You know, I was listening to that. I think I went years ago in my childhood, and remember, I'm the same age as you, so that's been a while. But I have not.
Well, it wasn't that long ago, Gina. We're not that old. My apologies.
No, it's been a minute, though. But no, I was listening to you about that pecan roll. That sounds good. I do remember that from my childhood.
I remember going down. I was speaking in Albany, Georgia for an event years ago, and it was funny. The airport, it's like literally a one-gate airport down there. They may have more now, but I had to wait for the TSA agent to come and unlock the airport to get out of there. But they had a pecan stand right there at the airport. And I'm like, how cool is that? So, you know, you guys do pecans well in Georgia.
They do, and that's when we would get them, when we would go down family vacations down to Florida. We'd go to South Georgia, and that's where we would stop at one of those.
Well, we were a big Pensacola, Panama City family, and we saw the blue roof, and we were like, it's time for a Stuckey's break.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to have to go to one of the new ones.
All right. Well, Gina, thanks for calling in. Appreciate that. 901-260-5926. Let's say hello to Richard in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, home to Middle Tennessee State University. Hey, Richard.
Yes, it is, and my grandson just graduated from there.
Oh, congratulations.
So I'm going to keep this short. Before I start, big shout-out to Dr. Frizzell over at Briarcrest for a great rendition of our national anthem. And a shout-out to Miss Janice in New Orleans, because with Dexter on the way, stay safe, baby.
We love Miss Janice. Hey, Richard, let me explain, because a lot of our listeners may not be aware of what you were talking about. Every day at noon, you're listening to us on our stream on KWAM, the news radio station in Memphis. Every day at noon, straight up, we play the national anthem, and it is performed. We have an incredible a cappella rendition by One Voice, which is the award-winning vocal group at Briarcrest Christian School.
Right. And Dr. Frizzell did one heck of a job with his arrangement of that. So moving on to the subject of the day, I think Trump really hurt himself with the way he's handled this. I agree with you that he should have just said, talk to Pam about this and left it alone, but no, he didn't do that. One of the things people don't realize now is that all these demands to release the Epstein files, that's just going to mean that what you're going to get is that the investigative files that are prepared by the law enforcement, those are misguided. The unredacted, the raw files for criminal investigations aren't ever released publicly. If you get any kind of release of material about that right now, it's going to be very selective, and it's also going to be improper. It's also never going to satisfy any conspiracy theorists, because once you release it, they're only going to have demands. I want more. I want more. So, in a way, Trump is right. It's time to move on, but he really hurt himself with the way he handled this. I include myself in that because I was really disappointed at the way he seemingly just blew it off, kind of like, oh, nothing to see here, move along, move along. So that's my take on it, and I know other people have other opinions.
Well, Richard, I appreciate you calling in, and yeah, I think you're right. And look, I'm not beating the president up over this. I mean, he's made a mistake. Whether he acknowledges it or not, I think he did make a mistake, and we cannot, and also, we can't let this consume the entire news cycle. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff going on, and we do need to get to a lot of the other stuff as well, but when you're coming out there and you're making these kinds of statements saying, I don't want your support, you know, Mr. President, we need those people. We really do. All right, 901-260-5926. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to take a quick break here, and as we are going to break, just a reminder, today I want us to hit the $5,000 mark in our Texas flood relief effort. We are raising money to help families in the hill country of Texas, many of them listeners and readers of the Todd Stearns Show and ToddStearns.com, and we need your help. So we would love for you to go over to ToddStearns.com. You'll find all the information there. You can donate online there. You can make a donation. $50 sends one family an emergency relief kit. Now, here's the deal. If you don't have $50, you've only got $5 or $10, we would be honored if you would donate $5 or $10. If you give $100 or more, you are going to be getting a signed copy of my brand new book, Star Spangled Blessings, just my way of saying thank you for being a part of our effort here. Again, $100 or more, you got a signed copy of my brand new book. Now, there's also a telephone number. I want you to write down this number and call it, and you'll be able to donate if you want to talk to a person, 855-348-4673. That's 855-348-4673. You can also text Todd to 51555 for a link. Again, that's text Todd to 51555. Got to take a break. We'll be right back.
He's not bitter. He's blessed. Todd Stearns.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Well, I stopped taking it for a while, and then it dawned on me, so I started taking it again. And I don't know, I like it. I mean, I love them. I'm never going to stop taking them. And I've got a friend that's coming over here. I'm giving her a little bit for her to go try.
I love the product. I wouldn't be without it. You know, ever since I started that product, I remember seeing an ad way back. That's what convinced me. I tried it, and so I've been a believer. Nothing compares with it, so I'm a lifer with it. I'm not going to change.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Don't wait. Now's the time to take action. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and there's no better time to get in shape than right now. That's why I'm really excited that Calitrin is part of my weight loss campaign. Here's my friend Elizabeth from Calitrin.
That's right. You know, Calitrin's safe with all medications, including all the weight loss shots that are so popular right now. In fact, Calitrin is exactly what you need if you're doing that, because you need to retain your lean muscle, you need to keep your metabolism boosted, and you want to tone and tighten that skin as you're losing weight the right way. So again, completely safe and what you need, even if you're doing other weight loss medications. It's also safe with your heart medicines. It's safe with your blood pressure medicines. Calitrin is the weight loss product that you can know and trust. It's been around. It's been helping customers lose weight safely for almost 30 years. So check it out. Website is toploss.com or call us 833-TOP-LOSS.
Thanks, Elizabeth, and be sure to use that promo code TODD.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy. Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We're gonna pick some pecans. Till the sun goes down, we'll pick them all day long. Crack them open, put them in a pie, bake it in the oven for a while. We're gonna pick some pecans.
You know, I am all about Americana, and I love it when old brands come back to life. You know, that's what we did here at KWAM, the flagship radio station that I own in Memphis, Tennessee. This is a radio station, 77, 78 years old now. And it was the original home of Johnny Cash and B.B. King. And also a young fellow who played his guitar on the radio for the very first time. His name, Elvis Presley. And we were able to revive a once dead brand here in the Memphis area, and we love that. And it's so exciting to see Stuckey's, the revival of Stuckey's. They've been around since 1937, and we just really appreciate the kindness sending us a little gift box in the mail. All right. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Todd Stearns Radio Show. As you know, we have been raising a lot of funds for our friends in the Texas Hill Country, and wanted to give a shout out to some folks that are going above and beyond in that effort. And we love giving you guys shout outs because we really do have one of the most generous audiences in all of talk radio. And all I can say is thank you and God bless you. And again, you can make that donation right now at toddstearns.com. 100% of whatever you give, 100% goes to help families. I want to start out by, again, thanking our friend David Weimer, the owner of Weimer's Jewelry, one of the most incredible jewelry shops in the Mid-South. And David Weimer dropping off a $100 bill saying, I want this to go to help people in Texas. David Weimer, we love you, and we thank you for your support. We thank you for the great work you're doing in the Mid-South. Want to say hello to Lucy. Lucy from Jackson, Tennessee, sending in a $200 donation. Lucy, thank you for that. And Lucy left us a note as well. You can leave a note, and we'll read it. Thank you, Todd, for standing up and speaking truth. Well, thank you, Lucy, for helping our friends in the Texas Hill Country. Lucilla from Houston making a one-time gift of $100. Thank you for that, Lucilla, listening to us on Patriot Talk 920. Jacques dropping by $45 in Chicago. Thanks, Jacques. Appreciate that. And Betty in Tuscumbia. Is that in Tennessee? I think it is. $52. Thank you, Betty. We appreciate you. Janelle in Houston, $200. Thank you for that, Janelle. Melanie in Victoria, Texas. Again, another Patriot Talk 920 listener, $100. Brett over in Midlothian, Texas. Brett sending us in a $50 gift. Thank you so much, Brett. We certainly appreciate that. Rick sending us a note. He says, I love my Texas people. Well, we love them too, Rick. We sure do. $100. Rick is dropping by. David C. from Brentwood, Tennessee, sending us this note. Todd, may God the Father and his Son be with you in ways that we cannot imagine. Thank you for that, my friend. And David sending us a $100 donation. All of you folks sending us that $100 or more, you will be getting a signed copy of my new book, Star Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots. All right, we've got many, many more names to go through. We're going to run out of time here, but we'll try to get to more of them later on in the program. Coming up, we're going to get to your calls. Liz Peek is going to be dropping by as well for the very latest on her column. Also, we are paying very close attention to what's happening in the U.S. Senate, where right now, and we heard this yesterday from Andy Biggs, at least 8 senators, Republican senators, are standing opposed to President Trump's DOGE cuts. Yeah, that's not good. We got to fix that. We really do. All right, hang tight, everybody, and we certainly appreciate your patience with us and your participation as we help our Texas flood victims and our friends out there in the Hill Country. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
Great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash. Fantastic. Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists. So if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are two ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back to the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Great to have you with us, and thank you for joining us today. By the way, do not forget the Todd Starnes Show coming up a little bit later on tonight, 5 o'clock Eastern on Newsmax, and we have a terrific show. Congressman Mary Miller is going to be with us, Congressman Kevin Kiley as well, and we've got a lot of ground to cover. Also, our friends over at First Liberty Institute. So, again, be sure to hang out with us. That is 5 o'clock Eastern on Newsmax. A reminder, by the way, Newsmax, now the fourth highest rated news channel just behind CNN, and millions are joining our news revolution. Also, we're on the New York Stock Exchange. That's pretty cool as well. Reuters says we're one of the top news brands in America, and President Trump among our big fans. By the way, I want you to download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone or TV, and you can start watching today. So get that free Newsmax app. You can also check out Newsmax shares on the New York Stock Exchange. Just go to newsmaxinvest.com. That's newsmaxinvest.com. Well, I want to go right away to our Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. Our great friend and the Fox News contributor and columnist, Liz Peek, joins us. Liz, hope you're doing good today.
I'm terrific. A little warm in New York City, the politics and the weather, but otherwise we're good. Thank you.
Well, you know, it's really fascinating to watch what's happening with this mayor's race, and it seems as though Zohran Mamdani is really picking up steam. And I know you've got a piece up on Fox News about the Democrats and their identity crisis, and I really think what's happening in New York City is a great example of that.
Yeah, it really is a great example of that. You know, nature abhors a vacuum. I'm sure you've heard that expression before. And that's what the Democrat Party is right now. In terms of leadership, there is none. And this isn't a right-wing talking point. This comes out of a Unite the Country poll, and that's a Democrat super PAC, which is doing the polling. And they've concluded that the party basically not only is failing in terms of regaining its position with Hispanic men, white men, et cetera, all of which they're polling with those groups is less than 35%. But Democrat voters generally say the party has no leadership and no message. And so, you know, when there's a void like that, in walks somebody who's slick, who's kind of reaching out to the new generation, the Gen Zers, and promising free childcare and free bus transportation and rent caps and all these things that sound pretty terrific to a 25-year-old who's paying $2,000 a month for a one-bedroom. Probably that's actually cheaper than the usual, and who doesn't know any better, Todd. I mean, this is the real issue. These kids have been educated in institutions that are so left-wing that they think socialism is okay, and they think capitalism is cruel, and that it rewards people unduly, and that billionaires shouldn't exist, and so forth. This is really bad stuff, and it's really terrible that it's in the heart of the most capitalist city in America and the greatest city on earth. How can we be standing by and letting this happen? I don't know.
It's just mind-boggling, as you said. And again, I'm not sure there's really a way out of this. I know Andrew Cuomo thinks he could be the savior of the city. I just don't think that's possible. I think he's just too tainted. And it looks as though Mamdani is really generating the base of the party right now when it comes to these radical progressives.
Well, so there was just a race in Arizona pitting a young influencer Gen Z type against a little bit more seasoned Democrat, and the seasoned Democrat won, and that's like 5 in a row where these youngsters, the socialist wing, if you will, get beaten by people maybe who know better. And the problem with New York is that it's not. I would argue that had Mamdani, and by the way, even his name is annoying because it isn't Mamdani, which is what is easy to say. It's Mamdani, which is almost impossible to get right. If he had come up against a reasonable Democrat opponent, he would have not won. But who did he face? Andrew Cuomo, who, as you say, tainted? Yeah, I think so. He killed thousands of people by ordering them into nursing homes when they had COVID. And they infected nursing home populations, which we now know, and I think we knew then, were extremely vulnerable. And by the way, he's also unpopular. People don't like Andrew Cuomo. I've had very distant dealings with him. I think he's horrible. So, you know, that it's not like Mamdani squared off against some attractive, establishment Democrat. That didn't happen. And I got to say, this is a moment where I am so unhappy with our business community in New York. Why don't they get Cuomo in a room, Jamie Dimon and Steve Schwartzman and all these big hitters sit Cuomo down and say, you got to get out. We're going to make your life completely miserable in every way we can imagine. We're not going to ever lend you money for a house. We're going to do everything possible in our control to make you unhappy. You get out of this race and put everything you have behind getting Eric Adams back in. Eric Adams is also a flawed candidate, to be sure, but at least he has the backing of the Jewish community, the Black community, and I think he would have a very good chance of winning.
Liz Peek joining us on our Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line today. Liz, I do want to pivot, and I know you've been pretty outspoken and critical of Jerome Powell, and a lot of people, they're just not understanding why he is not cutting rates.
Yeah, so, I think I have been outspoken about this actually for several months, because if you go back and look at what he did last September when he pushed through not just a cut to rates, but a jumbo cut, meaning 50 basis points, which is twice the normal, it really, in retrospect, looks very political. And why do I say that? Because if you look at the inflation numbers and the growth numbers and the job numbers, there is a better case to be made today for cutting rates than there was then. What would Jay Powell say in response to that? Well, maybe, but we have all this tariff confusion, and I'm sure tariffs will lead to inflation. Here's the thing, Todd. He has always said that he is data-driven. He is not supposed to be a soothsayer. He's not a fortune teller. He's not supposed to be sitting around saying, gosh, here are the 5 things that could drive prices higher 6 months from now, and we have no clarity, so we're just going to continue at very high interest rate levels, which, by the way, has real impact. I think that's what people may not understand. It really impacts the housing market, for example. And I have looked at a lot of data recently on family formations and housing starts and all the rest. We are underhoused right now in this country, and it's very hard for young families to buy a home. Why is that important? Obviously, because they have to have a place to live and rents are out of control. But secondly, that is how you begin your financial journey. You buy a home, you save, you put money in a mortgage, and 9 times out of 10, or maybe 99 out of 100, you end up accumulating wealth beginning with your equity in that home. So that is sort of a real problem for the country, and Jay Powell is completely oblivious to it. And the second thing is Trump is right. It's costing the federal government $1 gazillion that rates are so high. And why is that? Because Janet Yellen, who I think will go down as the worst Treasury Secretary in history, never pushed our debt out longer term. In other words, we still have much, much too much short-term debt in the federal government. And so these short-term abnormally high rates really mean we're paying too much on our debt. And it's not just me saying it. Stanley Druckenmiller and other really fabulously smart money managers called Janet Yellen out on that, and Druckenmiller said it was the worst mistake made by a Treasury Secretary in history. And I think he's right. So, there's a lot to talk about here, but everyone also should know Jay Powell is not an economist. He's a lawyer. And so Trump calls him too late Powell. I think he has been too late, both in trying to rein in inflation and now in terms of trying to help the country kind of get back into a faster growth mode. And one last thing, if you're going to be forecasting, as he is doing, and predicting where tariffs will drive inflation, you also should be predicting where AI should drive the labor market, because people are just like whistling past the graveyard on this. But there are thousands of people being laid off every week because of AI, and that's going to accelerate. And so Jay Powell's job is to make sure the labor market stays strong, and he should be anticipating that.
All right, Liz, great stuff, great intel, and a lot for us to follow. Always appreciate your good word and great writing. Liz Peek, everybody, and go be sure to check out lizpeek.com for all of her columns and all of her writings. Liz, always good hearing from you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Take care.
All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a mess in D.C. right now. And Trump is going to get it all fixed up. We just have to focus on the main things as opposed to all this chaos and all these little missteps. That's what we've got to worry about. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, folks. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. Again, head over in the break, and you can make a donation. Coming over the next hour, we're going to be giving more shout-outs to our great donors. You can make a donation. Just go to toddstarns.com, and you'll find all the information there in the red Texas Disaster Relief button. You know, I've been saying for many, many years that we've got to stand up for this country before it's too late. I mean, the radical left is working overtime to tear down every traditional institution that made this country great. Faith, family, freedom, they're all under attack, which is one of the reasons I am so proud to stand alongside my friends at the Association of Mature American Citizens, AMAC. They are the conservative alternative to AARP, and they're fighting every single day to protect the principles that make our nation great. And here's the best part of all. It's not just for senior adults. It doesn't matter if you're 18 years old or 80 years old. AMAC is for any American who loves this country and wants to see it protected for generations to come. Only a few dollars a year, and you're going to get so many wonderful benefits. An outstanding magazine. You're going to get access to exclusive discounts and all sorts of great information and resources. And if you don't believe me, go right away to amac.us/starns. Check out the website, and you'll see all of the great benefits and discounts. It is well worth your investment. amac.us/starns. That's amac.us/starns.
Can't hear the whole show? Don't worry. Get the Toddcast and listen on your own time at toddstarns.com.
Hey, Patriots, Todd Starnes here with big news. Trump's fighting for our country to get it back on the right track, battling China, who's likely dumping treasuries to sink the dollar, and facing tariffs that are having a sharp bite on the stock market. Now, Trump is playing the long game for America, putting Americans first. But like hard work, there's always going to be some pain. So you've got to play smart, too. Secure your hard-earned savings and retirement with Vault U.S. Gold. Their IRS-approved gold IRAs let you roll over your IRA or 401k with a no-commission pros. Safe, simple, tax-smart, protecting your future. Want it in hand? Well, their direct delivery program ships insured gold and silver to your door, offering privacy, yours to store securely. Real assets that you can hold and touch for tough times. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653 or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd Starnes for your free investor kit. And tell them Todd sent you, and don't go unprotected.
Attention, Patriots. Old Glory Bank, the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street, is now offering you a chance to own a piece of America's freedom economy. President and CEO Mike Ring recently testified before the Senate Banking Committee to fight for your banking freedom. Now you can join the fight by investing in Old Glory Bank. Visit own.oldglorybank.com to become an owner today. Investments involve risk, are not FDIC insured, and are not guaranteed. See our offering circular.
Franklin Graham says Star-Spangled Blessings is a must-read for America's Patriot families. The newest book from Todd Starnes, a daily devotional filled with great stories about how God has blessed America. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots. Each daily devotional comes with a Yankee Doodle, a Patriot prayer, and a Liberty lesson. Not to mention some all-American recipes that will bless your heart and your belly. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots, available at your favorite bookstore or order online at toddstarns.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally, knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all are going to sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad.
All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, welcome back to the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Have you guys seen this story? This really creeped me out. There's a horrible story about one of these paranormal investigators. These guys, I don't watch these shows. That it really makes me nervous. I just don't like it. You know, the Ouija board stuff, you don't know who you're conjuring up, and I believe there are demons out there. I mean, there's a whole party full of them. Demon rats. So anyway, there's a guy out there. He's apparently very well known in the paranormal world. His name is Dan Rivera. And he was on a tour of America with Annabelle, who is apparently a haunted doll. Dylan, are you familiar with this? Have you heard about this?
Unfortunately, I have, and I'm really terrified of it.
So the little doll, it's kind of like, it's not like Chucky. I guess it's the female version of Chucky.
Yeah, but I feel like it's taller than Chucky.
Oh, that creeps me out. You see, they make them look like little midget people.
Yeah.
And we can't, sorry, that's an oxymoron.
But in doll form.
But in doll form, right. This is
with
terrible.
Knives and stuff.
So that's, and the thing is, she looks like, the little doll kind of looks like Raggedy Ann, like gone bad.
Yes.
And it's very disturbing. So anyway, this doll, the name of the doll has a name, Annabelle, and the doll is apparently possessed by evil spirits. Oh, jeez. Anyway, as the story goes, this all happened in Gettysburg. Is anybody hearing that music, or is it just me? Dylan, are you hearing music?
Yeah, where's that coming from?
I don't know. I feel really weird right now.
I'm scared.
Annabelle. Ooh. So anyway, this guy's on a tour. His name is Dan Rivera. And they found him dead in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, in a hotel room. Now, the coroner in Adams County says there was nothing suspicious about the death. Nothing suspicious other than the doll sitting in the room with a knife, a bloody knife. Sorry about that. I just had to get that off my chest. According to the Today Show, that there was nothing suspicious. The coroner's office and the state police were called to the scene. It's not a crime scene, but they were called to the scene on Sunday night. They're waiting for an autopsy. I want to know what happened to that doll. So the Annabelle doll, oh, here we go. The Annabelle doll was not present at the scene. So is it on the loose? Have we put out an APB? They said that Annabelle might have been inside a van in the hotel parking lot. It's always a van. There's always a van. Rivera's death was announced on Facebook by the New England Society for Psychic Research. Not going to join that group. It's with deep sadness that Tony Wade and I share the sudden passing of our close friend and partner, Dan Rivera. We are heartbroken and still processing this loss. Dan truly believed in sharing his experiences and educating people on the paranormal. His kindness and passion touched everyone who knew him. Thank you for your support and kind thoughts during this difficult time. It's a terrible thing. He was participating in the Devils on the Run tour. Well, there you go. You're just tempting fate at that point. So not only do you have a psycho baby doll in your car, but you're calling your tour Devils on the Run. According to the tour, it celebrates the work of Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are they supernatural investigators? They're dead, I think. And they displayed Annabelle on the tour for anyone brave enough to face her. In 1968, the Warrens investigated the case of Annabelle, a red-headed Raggedy Ann doll given to a nursing student who brought it home where she lived with a roommate. Almost immediately, the roommates noticed, here it comes again, strange occurrences with the doll. And they were introduced to a medium who told them the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle. The two roommates tried to accept the doll's spirit and please it, only to have it reciprocate with maliciousness and violent intent. That damn doll, it ate my sandwich again. I wonder if they made the doll, pay rent? The Warrens said Annabelle was demonically possessed. So they came in, they were summoned, they removed the doll from the house, and they put it in a glass box to contain the evil spirit. Another famous case handled by the Warrens, a 1971 haunting in Rhode Island that would inspire the film series The Conjuring, Annabelle Rises. And this guy thought it was a good idea to drive around the New England states with a demonic baby doll in the back seat. What is wrong with you? All right, I'm officially creeped out now. I think I need to go eat another pecan log roll. All right, folks, hour 3 of the big show coming up next. This is the Todd Starden Show.
Everyone's goals for advancing their education look different. At Liberty University, we've helped thousands of students like you earn their dream degree. So no matter what your goal is, we can help you get there. With over 450 degrees from the associate to the doctoral level to choose from, most of which are 100% online, you'll find what you need to succeed. To discover which degree might be the best fit for you, text degree to 49595. That's degree to 49595.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
When the wolf?
Oh, a wolf.
Ooh! What about the tiny dog? Cat. Owl.
Ooh.
Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale.
Yeah, whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starden. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GPS for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code GPS for a $5 bonus.
The controversy over a transgender volleyball player at San Jose State University is growing. At least 5 universities in the Mountain West Division have either forfeited matches or refused to compete. Now, the women's volleyball team at the University of Nevada, Reno is the latest to boycott. The ladies took a vote and opted not to compete against San Jose State. Now, the young man who is pretending to be a woman has been seen in multiple videos spiking the balls in the face of female opponents. And many of the female athletes say they have legitimate fears about their safety. The Nevada player said in a statement to Outkick Sports they will stand in solidarity with other female volleyball players, and they're also demanding their rights to safety and fair competition be upheld, and they refuse to put themselves in harm's way. Well done, ladies. Well, if you need a good laugh and a healthy dose of inspiration, check out my daily podcast. It's available at ToddStarnes.com.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute. Live from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's Common Sense Conservative Commentary from Todd Starnes.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to Hour 3 of the Big Show. Great to have you with us today. A lot going on. Yesterday on Newsmax, we had an interesting conversation with John Rose and Keith Self, both Republican congressmen, and we've been watching the Senate try and pass President Trump's rescissions package. It's just iffy right now. The Republicans do not have a majority vote, and they need a majority vote to get this thing through. So we're paying close attention to this. But I want to play the some of the interview with Congressman Rose, who is also running to be the next governor of the state of Tennessee. Let's take a listen. Congressman, good to have you with us today.
Thank you, Todd. Thanks for having me on the Todd Starnes Show.
And Congressman, before we get to this auto pen scandal, I want to get your take on what we just heard here. The Republicans in the Senate seem to be having some getting a little squeamish on cutting Sesame Street in Iraq and these vegan programs in Zambia. What say you?
Well, I think the senators need to remember that 77 million Americans spoke loudly and clearly last November 5th, and they need to honor the wishes of those Americans who gave them a Senate majority, restored and maintained our majority in the House, and reelected President Trump overwhelmingly. And they need to come through for the American people. And they need to remember that the president promised just the sort of cuts that we see in this rescissions package.
Now, Congressman, I know you've been traveling across the state of Tennessee. What are you hearing from your constituents and regular Tennesseans out there when it comes to these cuts in the budget?
Sure. Well, I think Tennesseans are excited about the president following through on his campaign promises, and they're excited to see Congress delivering with the passage of the One Big Beautiful Law, and they want to see the president stay on a roll. And so they would want to see these rescissions passed, and I think the American people need to reach out to their senators, those who are balking here, and let them know loudly and clearly that they sent them to Washington to help the president implement his vision for restoring the greatness of America.
You know, Congress, another big story that I know you've been following is this auto pen scandal. How big of a deal is this that Joe Biden may not have been in charge of his White House?
Well, I think it's a very big deal, and it was one of the most common questions I got over the last 4 years of who is governing our country. And we now, with the curtain pulled back and the opportunity to see what was happening, know that there are serious questions about which of the decisions and formal actions that the president was purportedly taking as president, which of those was he actually making the decisions on, and in which instances was maybe the chief of staff or other lower-level staffers at the White House actually making decisions for the president without his knowledge. And so we need to get to the bottom of it. That's why I've co-sponsored the resolution to create a select committee that my friend Buddy Carter from Georgia has introduced. And I think we need to see not only Congress get to the bottom of this, but I hope that the Attorney General and her team will also be looking very closely at those actions that the president was taking in the final hours of his administration, pardoning literally thousands, the most pardons, I think, of any president in history, that indeed may have not been made appropriately. It may have been a White House staffer, the chief of staff, or others who were making those decisions without the full knowledge or assent of the president. And that really brings into question the will of the people who elect the president of the United States. If they can't trust that the person who they elected is making the decisions, then we may have already lost our democracy.
Well, I know Senator Rand Paul on the other side there of the Capitol now reissuing a criminal referral of Dr. Fauci to the Department of Justice. If those pardons were signed by the auto pen without the president's final discretion, should they be voided?
I think they should, and I think we need to get to the bottom of that. And even the Fauci pardon supposedly signed off in the wee hours of the night, late hours of the night. And the question is, did the president even know that was happening? Was he making that decision? And clearly it is hard to imagine that the president, in the condition that we now know he was in at that time, was literally pouring through the thousands, I think 4,000 or so clemency grants that were made by him and signed off on by the auto pen. Was the president aware of the circumstances? And what is the standard that we should hold our presidents to if they're going to use the awesome power granted to them in the Constitution? So we need to get to the bottom of this, and I hope Senator Paul will press, and I hope that the Attorney General will press, and I hope that Congress will put in place a select committee, as Buddy Carter has proposed, to dig into the details of this and make sure that the American people's decisions are being made by the person they elected.
All right, that was just a bit of the interview we did there with Congressman John Rose out of the great state of Tennessee. More reaction is coming in from MAGA world, and a lot of folks that you people admire and respect. General Michael Flynn writing this, and he wrote it directly to President Trump on X. He said, "Mr. President, I hesitated to write this. However, with the utmost respect and deference to you, for all you've withstood, few know it better than me what the deep state can do when they want to turn on a person. The Epstein affair is not about who killed him or if he committed suicide. Personally, I'm glad this known pedophile is dead, but neither is this a hoax. The issue goes beyond all that. There are millions of Americans who overwhelmingly voted for you to be our president, and we want you to be massively successful. No one more than me. Personally, I still have a target on my forehead. I know that, but like you, I still fight. Beyond all of that, our country is facing a level of internal subversion, and it is a relentless attack on the very foundation of our constitutional republic. If you are not successful, our country may not survive. It is that extreme of a situation that we currently face. Read Lincoln's Lyceum speech of 1838. He knew, as you know, and as we all can see with our very eyes, our nation will not die from a foreign foe, never. If we die, it will be by our own suicide." This is coming from Michael Flynn. He goes on to write, "There is an ongoing undermining by subversive elements inside and outside the government. That is the essence of the deep state. All we want at this stage is for a modicum of trust to be reestablished between our federal government and the people it is designed to serve. That's all, period. An element of that is of great importance surrounding this Epstein affair is the fact this man was a known pedophile, had a list of clients who represented the upper crust of society, and likely did untoward things to children on his island, in his homes in New York City and New Mexico, and elsewhere. He was convicted of it. Regardless of what class of society abuses and commits crimes against children, it is never acceptable. This is where this argument went off the rails. It's not about Epstein or the left. It's about committing crimes against children. If he were part of an intel operation known or run by our CIA, shame on them, and those responsible must be held accountable. If there's another country involved, then shame on them as well. If there are elites inside our country that committed crimes against children, shame on them. They must be held accountable. Few know how many crystal balls you juggle on a daily basis, and I know you cannot drop any of them. With my strongest recommendation, please gather your team and figure out a way to move past this. The rollout of this was terrible, no way around that. Americans want America to be successful. Therefore, we need you to be successful. Please take this missive as though coming from someone who willingly and voluntarily fought for this country against multiple enemies overseas, only to come home to face my greatest enemy right here at home. You know precisely what I mean, Mr. President. God bless you, and may God continue to protect you from the dark forces that do exist. I believe you are put on this earth for such a time as this. I completely agree with the sentiment there coming from General Flynn. We all want the very best for President Trump, and the reason why is not our allegiance to President Trump, ladies and gentlemen. It's our allegiance to the United States of America, and we know just how precarious our nation is right now. And there are subversive forces at work here. And I think a lot of this could be resolved by putting first of all, removing Donald Trump from the conversation and bringing Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino and putting them in front of the reporters for a free-for-all press conference. Bring in a lot of the new media, let everybody in there, all the reporters, and ask the questions until every single question has been answered. And I think that we might be able to get the answers we need. But based on what happened today, I'm just shocked that Dan Bongino has not already resigned, because this puts him now in a very precarious situation. Keep in mind, Bongino built his career on all of this, and now we're being told it was just a great big hoax, and anybody who helped perpetuate the hoax is stupid. I mean, that's what the president came out and said today. So, again, I think we have to remove the president out of this conversation. The president is maybe speaking without having all of the facts on this. We've got to get Pam Bondi, Patel, and Bongino before the microphones and just let them answer the questions. And then let the chips fall where they may. All right, let's go to the phones here. 901-260-5926, Newbern, North Carolina. Luis is on the phone. Hi, Luis.
Hey, Todd, I have backed Trump from the beginning. I have lost friends. I've lost family backing Trump. For him to come out and say anybody who thinks Epstein's thing is a hoax, he don't want us anymore. You know, what did he say? He said, if you don't believe what I'm telling you, you can go away. Well, I'm going away. I bought flags. I bought signs for the yard. I bought T-shirts. But, you know, he's doing the same thing these idiot Republicans we voted into Congress are doing. You know, you get there telling one story and you end up with a different story. You know, we elected these people in Congress to back the president. Now he's not even wanted us to back him. He thinks he's above us. We got him there. We can take him out.
I don't want you to do that just yet, Luis. I think what the president wrote this morning was written out of, and you know how our president is. He speaks whatever's on his mind. There is not an edit button there, and he just put it all out there. And I think he's aggravated because people are not moving on, and we can't move. I think General Flynn really nailed it there. We can't move on because this is at the essence of what we are fighting within the deep state right now.
I agree. And this is part of the thing he got elected on, to bring all of this stuff out and to have a government that we can believe for a change. Before, we couldn't believe anything the government was saying.
It's a fair point, Luis. But again, I don't want you to give up on the president just yet. It's all coming from a good place. I think he was way out of line, and I think he hurt himself, and it was just an unforced error posting all of that on social media today. But again, I think all of this can be fixed if we get Bondi, Patel, and Bongino in front of the cameras for just a free-for-all.
Well, I've made the phone calls you've asking our Congress people to do what we voted them in to do. And it's just, it's disheartening, for us guys on the bottom of this poll to hear him say, I don't need you anymore. You either agree with me or go away. What can we do?
Yeah, look, these are fair questions, Luis. And again, Trump, he can't run again, but you know what? J.D. Vance can, and we have the ability to win, but if the president is going to keep putting out statements like this, it is going to drag down the base of the party. And let me just ask you this. Are you those kinds of comments, does that make you more or less willing to go out and vote in the midterm elections?
Less. He's about ready to turn me off to voting for anybody because you can't trust him. I don't want another Democrat in there because we know they're crooked. I mean, they they go into Congress having $12 in their pocket, and they come out having $12 million. And then after one term, they get their salary for life and free medical. You know, retirees don't get their salary for life, and they don't get free medical, and that's for sure. You know, so Congress was not designed to be a job. It was designed to represent the people.
That's true. Luis, we're going to have to leave it there, my friend. We've got to take a quick break, but thank you for calling in. Ladies and gentlemen, are you standing with the president here, or are you disappointed in your president? 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. I'll say this. I liked Congressman Tim Burchett's idea. He's out of East Tennessee. He says anybody that commits a crime against a child should be hung in public. String them up and hang them in public. I like that, Congressman. All right, before we go to break, just a reminder, head over to ToddStarnes.com and click on the big disaster relief button. Help our good friends in the Texas Hill Country. We are raising money for emergency supplies. Our goal, $20,000. We're knocking on the door of $4,000 right now. We want to get to $5,000 by the end of the day, and you can help us. Anybody who gives a $100 donation or more, you're going to get a personally signed copy of my new book, Star Spangled Blessings, at ToddStarnes.com.
You're with Todd Starnes.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a natural bodybuilder, so I know when something works and when something doesn't. I've tried so many different products. When I got your product, and like I said, I'm a natural bodybuilder, as soon as I got it, did them for a week, and I told my brother, I said, Rick, you need to try these. You know I won't give you nothing if it don't. He tried them, bam, the first day. He said, this is a good product. And I got my mom on them, and I just keep pushing your product. It's a great product. You're a great company, and everybody there I've talked to has been so kind. Great product. It does what it says it does.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life, and he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for health care can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health. Because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
All right, let's get right to the phone lines. 901-260-5926. Miss Janice in New Orleans. And Miss Janice, before we get to what we're going to talk about with Epstein, you guys doing well? It looks like got a little tropical action going on down there.
Yes, we do. And in the moment right now, you know, here where I am, things are okay. But later tonight, they said we're supposed to have rain, and tomorrow and everything, and Friday. Now if all we get is the rain, I mean, you know, I'm not going to worry so much about that. But I just hope and pray that we don't get wind. That's what kind of has me concerned. And one thing I am going to do.
Yes.
You know, somebody was telling me, oh, well, you know, what good's having it? I told them, I said, I will put the generator on. After this is over, I am going to go, yes, there's part of me that would love to be able to sit in here with the light on during a storm. But I'm going to go out in a few minutes. I'm going to turn it off. Because I am concerned about CO2. I don't know what the chances are that could ever get into my home. Hopefully not. And I'm also, you know, how do I know about water? I don't know about water.
That's a good point. Miss Janice, I want you to hold on a second. We'll pick up the conversation. We got to take a break here. But, yeah, you want to make sure if you're running a generator, you got to make sure it is incredibly ventilated and not actually inside your home. Hang tight, Miss Janice. We will be right back after this break. Lines are open, ladies and gentlemen, 901-260-5926. This is The Todd Stern Show.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life. And he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back. Let's go back to New Orleans. Miss Janice wants to weigh in on Jeffrey Epstein. All right, Miss Janice, let's jump right into it. Tell me about Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, I'll tell you that in a second. I just wanted to tell you my generator is not a portable. It's a whole house generator.
Oh, good.
Like
good.
I said.
Okay.
Like I said, though, if anything were to get in the house, CO2 or something like that, I can't go outside in the middle of a storm.
Oh,
so I'm going to just turn it off and sit here with my lantern, and when everything is over, I'm going to turn it back
All right,
on.
we don't have a lot of time, so let's get to Epstein here. I want to hear your thoughts.
Here's the deal with Epstein. I have a name for Bondi. It's Bondi Itch. And you put whatever letter you want in front of the word itch. I'm not going to say the word on the radio. Bondi Itch. Because, yes, she's Bondi Itch, and I'll tell you why. She was either lying before or she's lying now. You can't sit there and say, oh, the papers are on my desk. They're right there on my desk, and now you're going to be saying, oh, they don't exist. No, this is utter ridiculousness, and someone is trying to cover up for something, for someone. I saw something the other day, and it was being talked about on the radio, but I went to Snopes' website, and they're saying that it is fake, though. It's a picture of Epstein with a girl on his lap, Trump sitting next to him with his hand on her leg. But Snopes says that's not true. That's an altered picture, and I would hope so. Now, there was a man the other night. I saw him on YouTube, and he was saying that he had been in jail, and he was in the same spot that Epstein was, in the same place there. I'm not going to call it a cage, but whatever you call it. The same area there that he was in. And he said that there is no way that he committed suicide. He said he really does not feel that. And there was some video or something that they had, and 1 minute of it is missing. So who's to say?
Well, I think now they're saying up to 3 minutes of it is missing, Miss Janice. But regardless, going back to what General Flynn said, this is really not about the suicide or it's not about Epstein. It's about all the clients. And it's about very powerful people who did very horrible things to children. And I think at the end of the day, that's what we've really got to be focusing on here.
Exactly. And why is she saying, oh, the papers are on my desk, and now it's, oh, there's no papers, there's nothing, we don't have anything, it never existed. Someone is lying, and this really stinks. And I hope that the people will keep on this and not let up until the truth can come out. I really hope so.
I do too. Miss Janice, got to leave it there. Thank you for that call, and thank you for listening. Let's go to Dennis in Atlanta. Hi, Dennis. What's on your mind?
Well, I've been listening. I was telling you, Spotter, that one time I heard the report that Giselle is she was the real brains behind the whole thing, and the whole thing with Epstein was just to suck in high-ranking people. But when her dad, who was a UK resident, died, Israel gave the man complete state of the honor.
Yeah, it was a state funeral. Yeah, that was Ghislaine, by the way, is her name, and his name is Robert Maxwell, who was a self-made tycoon, a media tycoon. And you're right. I mean, they gave him, the nation of Israel gave him a funeral befitting a national hero.
Yeah, you thought he was Ben Gurion. And I just, the whole point of that article that I read was that she was the real power behind the whole thing, and it was just to suck in these. I mean, the current King of England was there. He wasn't the king then; he was Prince whomever. And it just strikes me that there's some high level spying going on, and that's what they're all hiding. They're obviously hiding something.
So there was years ago. This happened. I mean, the guy died like 33 years ago, and there were some allegations. Another Washington Post covered this guy because he was a very important figure at the time. So we're talking about Ghislaine Maxwell's father, and this guy was the publisher of I believe it was one of the big newspaper chains, and the author Seymour Hersh had accused Robert Maxwell of actually working as an Israeli spy and an agent, so for the Mossad, which is Israel's intelligence agency. And so if that's the case, and again, I think people are saying, well, Epstein was the one working as a spy, and he may have been. I have no idea. But there were documented allegations at the time that Maxwell was an agent for Israel.
Yeah. So she was really the brains behind the whole thing, and they're sucked in high-ranking people from around the world, for crying out loud. The senators they caught there, they're chump change compared to what some of the other people they.
So why do you think? So why is that important? Why is the Israeli connection there? And of course, Maxwell is Jewish. But why is that important to the story here?
You know what? I don't know, but it didn't come out. It really wasn't. I didn't see it until the whole thing with Epstein was brought to light. And it just makes me wonder, Epstein seemed to be running this thing as a trap to get goods on high-ranking government officials from around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Israeli way of spying, or?
Well, that's been the allegation. That's what people are now suggesting, is that, ultimately there may be something going. I mean, the allegation is that Israel was using either Epstein or Maxwell or both to get all this dirt on world leaders to use to their advantage and to their benefit as the nation of Israel. I mean, that's the allegation.
Yeah, and that makes more sense to me than anything I hear. I mean, I hear people calling in saying, we're mad about, well, Trump was there, or this guy was there, Clinton was there. I mean, there was something that really has not been brought out going on. It could have been Israel. That's what they're hiding because, God knows we don't want to harm our relations between America and Israel. But I think we're just, we're chasing our tail like a puppy dog, when in fact it's high-ranking spying, and that's what they're hiding.
All right, Dennis, appreciate the call and the question. Let's go to Bob in Texas, listening to us on Patriot Talk 920. Hi, Bob. What's on your mind?
It's about Epstein and the list and Trump's failure to let it out. I mean, he campaigned on it, that he's going to release the names and the list and information transparency, and then they withheld it. I think Bonnie, she was excited about doing it first. You could tell it in the way her body language was, her voice, everything at first announcements, and then as time went on, it's like it changed, and you could see it change with her and what she was saying. I think she was genuine at first, but then she's kind of holding back and having to not reveal what she knows, and that's probably why you got the big squabble with Bongino and Kash Patel. It's pretty transparent or obvious that, for example, that Trump is using this list or this information to get some of these people in higher places to go along with his agenda.
And that could be. I've actually, Bob, heard that being thrown out there as a possibility. A theory here is that Trump has the list and he's using it to get his agenda through.
Here's a good example of that. For the first part of this term that Trump has been, Justice Roberts has been against him, voted against him, and I mean he couldn't hardly get anything done, and everything was like held up for the longest. In the last 6 weeks, 3 months, all of a sudden Justice Roberts and the Supreme Court has been rubber stamping everything for Trump. 6-3, 6-3, 6-3 decisions, and it's from the Supreme Court in Trump's favor. And I just don't understand how Roberts had such a change of heart without some kind of persuasion. And I just wonder if that's a part of it. I've heard that they're saying, oh, there's nobody on the list that is in office at this time. But, there's like Schumer. I think he was on the list, and he's still in office. I know he's getting out. But there's several others. And to get rid of the deep state like he's promised, and to clear the swamp or drain the swamp, he's got to reveal this list to get the swamp cleared. Otherwise, Trump is going to lose it in the midterms. The MAGA voters, or enough of the MAGA voters, are just going to be disheartened and just going to stay at home. I'm not encouraging that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go vote, but enough of them are just going to stay home and let it happen. And you know what's going to happen once they get a majority in the House? They're going to be impeachment again, and the Trump agenda or MAGA isn't going to go nowhere. This is going to be his major stumbling stone Trump has done in this term.
And he's done it to himself, which is the sad thing here. He's done this to himself, and I think it's really unfair of the president to go out and attack all these people who have been out there, and they have been loyal supporters of the president and his administration. And now he's saying, you know what, you people are dead to me. You're being excommunicated from MAGA world. I think that's how Alex Jones described it. And look, a lot of this has to, I think a majority of the blame has to go to Pam Bondi and her handling of all of this. It has been unprofessional. And I've said that as soon as she brought in the MAGA influencers to the White House and gave them the binders, that was an incredibly unprofessional and inappropriate thing to do. And I think at that moment, everything was undermined. And I'll leave you with this, Bob. It's also possible that Pam Bondi is a rhino. And I say that because when you look back at all the people who were congratulating her when she was confirmed, we're talking about people like the Jeb Bushes of the world. So that certainly raises a concern for me. Bob, good call, and thank you for listening to us. I will say this on John Roberts. There have been some allegations that the Chief Justice had been photographed with one of the Epstein girls. That turned out not to be true. So we ran down all that information, and that just simply was not true. It was somebody else, but it wasn't the Chief Justice. All right, we've got to take a break here. 901-260-5926. Real quick, folks, again, head over to our website, toddsterns.com. Help us raise money for our good friends in the great state of Texas, the Hill Country, devastated by the floods. And we're raising money. Whatever you can give, but $50 will provide one full emergency kit to a family. That's $50. Anybody who gives $100 or more, you're going to get a signed copy of my new book, Star Spangled Blessings, just a way for me to say thank you for helping us out. We'll be right back, everybody.
Triggering microaggressions from coast to coast. You're listening to Todd Starnes.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and there's no better time to get in shape than right now. That's why I'm really excited that Calitrin is part of my weight loss campaign. Here's my friend Elizabeth from Calitrin.
That's right. You know, Calitrin's safe with all medications, including all the weight loss shots that are so popular right now. In fact, Calitrin is exactly what you need if you're doing that, because you need to retain your lean muscle, you need to keep your metabolism boosted, and you want to tone and tighten that skin as you're losing weight the right way. So, again, completely safe and what you need, even if you're doing other weight loss medications. It's also safe with your heart medicines. It's safe with your blood pressure medicines. Calitrin is the weight loss product that you can know and trust. It's been around. It's been helping customers lose weight safely for almost 30 years. So check it out. Website is toploss.com or call us 833-TOP-LOSS.
Thanks, Elizabeth, and be sure to use that promo code TODD.
Attention, Patriots. Old Glory Bank, the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street, is now offering you a chance to own a piece of America's freedom economy. President and CEO Mike Ring recently testified before the Senate Banking Committee to fight for your banking freedom. Now you can join the fight by investing in Old Glory Bank. Visit own.oldglorybank.com to become an owner today. Investments involve risk, are not FDIC insured, and are not guaranteed. See our offering circular.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Starnes. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID, and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code Starnes, and you're going to save an extra 10%.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, Charlie Kirk, our friends over at the Liberty Daily, they said, did Charlie Kirk get the call? Because Charlie on Monday said, we're moving on. We're not talking about this anymore. So today, Charlie's changing his position pretty much on a daily basis now. So the latest from Charlie Kirk is that he's had a chance to analyze everything, and he realizes there's really not much a difference between what Trump is saying and what the MAGA supporters are saying. Are you kidding me? This is killing Charlie because he can't come out and say what he really thinks because he doesn't want to lose access. So anyway, it's unfortunate, but there you go. Wow. Let's go to the phone lines, Statesville, North Carolina, the lovely Miss Patty. Miss Patty, what's on your mind? Whoops, I don't think we've got Miss Patty. All right, well, we'll try to get her back on the show tomorrow. All right, don't forget it. So at 5 o'clock tonight, we've got a jam-packed show coming up for you on Newsmax. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of great information, a lot of great guests coming up, 5 o'clock Eastern on Newsmax. All right, I want to play some audio here. This is yesterday, Congressman Randy Fine from Florida. Really doing a terrific job here of laying out just how bad the anti-Semitism is on university campuses. Cut number 2, please.
You created in the fall of 2024, you named Usama Makdizi the inaugural chair of a new endowed program in Palestinian Arab studies. On October 7th, Makdizi described the Hamas attack against Israel as, quote, resistance. Why would you give a job? See, I understand freedom of speech, but you get to decide who to hire. Why would you give a position to someone who said October 7th was justified? Why?
Usama Makdizi, Professor Makdizi, is a fine scholar. He was awarded that position from his colleagues based on academic standards.
Great. So on February 5th, 2024, this great academic, you're showing the problem, said, quote, I could have been one of those who broke through the siege on October 7th. This is what you think is good, and then we're surprised when people come in here and behave this way. I'm going to move on to Georgetown. You've got a campus in Qatar. I note when my colleague, Vice Chair Owens, said, what would happen with a KKK student on campus? You said, yes, but. That's the problem with all of this. We believe that we should deal with racism, and we should. And I did a lot in the Florida legislature to do with that. But there should not be a but after it when it comes to anti-Semites. So at your school in Qatar, you had a October 24th, 2023, an event titled Decolonization is Not Just a Theory. It was an exhibition of armed resistance in Africa in solidarity with Palestine. What does decolonization is not just a theory mean to you, and what does it mean to Georgetown?
I don't have knowledge of that exhibition. This was a student-led event, Congressman.
All right, so I have 90 seconds left, and I'm going to end with this. I have a 17-year-old who will be applying to school next year. He's in Washington, interning right now. And how in good conscience could you tell my son, who is Jewish, who's the reason I wear this kippah, how could you tell my son in good conscience that he would be safe at any of your schools? I'll give each of you, 20 seconds to try to answer that question.
I would deeply hope he would feel safe, and there's a reason for this at Georgetown. If Jewish students don't feel safe, if they have fear, if it's not just hurtful to them, it it destroys our mission of interfaith dialogue.
They don't feel safe right now. Your turn.
I have spoken to many students. We have recruited actively in the Jewish community at CUNY. I've actually began a program of extending a program that we have of recruiting in the high schools to the yeshivas, which is College Now. And again, we have listened. I have met with the students, gone to Hillel, listened to their concerns, and I've told them that we need to do better. We have made the changes, and we're showing the results. And listening and being committed to their safety is something that I wake up every day to do.
Yeah, I don't even need an answer from Berkeley, given the answer to that question about that professor. I would tell you this: the Jewish students on your campus, they do not feel safe today, and you all should be ashamed about that. And with that, I yield back.
Wow. Well said, Congressman. And that's, by the way, that's how you deal with that. My question is, why are we still funding these people? Right? Look, we are well beyond, we're 7-8 months into the new administration. Let's go ahead and start defunding all of these folks. Let's start the process of dismantling the Department of Education. Let's start returning control of our schools back to the state and local level. And when we do that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to fix a lot of this nonsense. So look, folks, hang in there. It's going to be okay. This is a hiccup. It's a big hiccup with President Trump right now, but it's going to get better. And we're going to get all this figured out. I can promise you that. All right. Don't forget, 5 o'clock Eastern, the Todd Starnes Show on Newsmax, ToddStarnes.com. Check out all of our great stories, great content, and be sure to download our free newsletter and podcast as well. And don't forget, folks, help support our friends in Texas. Have a great one, everybody. You be good, America. Hey folks, Todd Starnes here. What's your plan when the smartest investors who never lose pile into gold and silver? They're buying now, watching value climb. Are you okay?